No one is perfect, not even the Uggs. But don't tell them I said that. Here are some screw-ups, edits, and extras from the last episode of The Ugly Truth. We call them Ugly Cuts.
But I'm curious how this new album is gonna come out. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Yeah. You know, okay, speaking of, I know that there's a lot of haters, but I freaking love Shania Twain. And she's coming out with an album, like, in 2 months. I can't wait. I hope it's good. I really hope it's good.
She's not the best singer, but whoever produced her albums, and they were fine-tuned to her voice, it made her sound like Mariah Carey, basically.
Okay, well, I don't know. So you may not know the story. Most people know. But Shania Twain was married to Jeff Mutt Lange, who is a ridiculous record producer,
right?
And they were married, they had a kid, they named him something weird, Asia or something, and they lived in like Switzerland,
right?
They're weird people. They were both kind of reclusive, and she's had quite a life before that, even with her parents dying and all that garbage.
Yeah, no, she raised her brothers and sisters, or something like that.
It was very crazy. Well, her husband started sleeping with her best friend, so that fell apart, and she was like practically suicidal. And then she started sleeping with her best friend's ex-husband, and now they're married.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird?
It is weird. I wouldn't have anything to do with any of it. That's what's so strange. Yeah. But she obviously found solace with this dude. So, yes, he was a miracle producer, or probably still is. So he made her huge. It was completely solely the way he produced her albums that she was so great,
and made her sound perfect. And I mean, she obviously has it, she can sing a note, but if you think about it, they're not that hard to sing. Anyone who can sing a tune can sing her songs.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why do you think Taylor Swift is so popular? Everyone can sing Taylor Swift songs and sound good. I mean, it's just like that. Sometimes if the takeoff is really bad, or if the landing feels dicey because of the wind, it's always the wind.
I'm cool with landing. Once we start descending, and I'm just like, it's over.
For me, the descending is the closer we get to the ground, the more relieved I get, because my chance of survivability continues to rise. If something goes bad and we're 600 feet off the ground, I could make it. At least that's what I'm thinking to myself.
I hate takeoff because I hate when you start that ascension and then they start turning. I'm like, why are we turning around?
Oh my God.
And Victor's like, we're not turning around. And
I know.
He's like, we're just getting out of the way
of everything. That's the same with me. When we ascend, all of a sudden they do those sharp, especially in Sacramento, man, those super sharp turns.
Yeah.
They're U-turns, essentially.
Basically.
Oh my God. And especially wherever we're flying out of, whenever we're going somewhere on a plane, we're going south. And so the airport's obviously pointing north, because we have to flip around and go back the other way. And I'm sitting there, and you're basically plastered to the back because you're ascending so quickly.
Yeah.
And I start swallowing hard, and I'm trying not to cry every time. And Daryl, he always grabs my hand. He's like, honey, everything's gonna be fine. And I'm like, just don't talk to me right now. Just let me be here. Just let me be completely terrified for just a moment.
Well, and the thing is you're ascending at the same time. Yes. And sometimes ascending feels like descending to me.
It does.
And so I'm just like, I'm like, are we going down? Why? And then I think of like that movie Sully, where it's just like they have to crash in the Hudson because they,
we're going in the water, people.
I'm like, are there birds? What's going on?
I know, it's true. He's like, don't look at the fuselage. Like, don't look at the inside of the plane, because you can see what you're doing.
I try and sit in front of the jets, because if you sit behind the jets, it's really noisy. If you sit in front of the jets, it's not so bad.
Yeah, well, I don't know if this is true or not, but I choose to sit over the wing as much as humanly possible, because I feel like that's the most reinforced part of the plane. Whenever you see planes, that center part is always intact. So I always sit over the
plane. If I do that, I'll just look out the window and wait for something to fly off. I
do. If I see a loose screw, I'm like, what is this? Why is this loose?
And if they have like the cockpit, like like voice,
where you can listen.
I'll sit there and listen and try and like decipher, like what's going on, like, see if I can be like, Mayday, we're going down.
So you can be prepared for your
death. Because I want to be the first to know.
And so I said, okay, you're right. I forgot about the cookies. I'll clear my cache.
That's so funny.
I know. Isn't that weird, though?
I guess I didn't know that there were certain things that people find bothersome.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons why I won't watch The Exorcist is because our mother convinced us that demons would come in through the television.
Well, I would never watch it because of that reason.
Exactly.
I still believe that.
I do too. Unfortunately, I think that's the Mexican in us, because it's like she's like, Jamie, that's demon.
Like anytime there's even like and I've got the children doing it now too. Anytime there's like a movie trailer for like something, demonic or horrible, they mute the TV and like hit the guide button so we can't see it.
God. That's our childhood right there. That's in a nutshell.
Because
our childhood.
I just don't want them to see anything like terrible. There was like this movie for about a doll or something like that.
Oh, Annabelle.
Yeah.
Annabelle. Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And I'm just like, no way.
Yeah.
Not in my house.
I know. I'm the same way when it comes to supernatural films. I think it's just our childhood of our mom convincing us that demons were going to come out of the TV if we watched it. I don't know.
That's why I told you and Stephanie when I'm just like, well, you guys are on your own if you want to go see that It's Satan movie.
I don't think that's I don't think that's a supernatural film. That's Stephen King. That's just stories.
So
I don't know.
Someone just dressed up as a clown.
Yeah, I think it's like more of like a serial killer, like Freddy Krueger,
right?
Which is kind of like bad dream type stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, enjoy.
That's the way I look at it. Anyway,
no,
I don't. It's not someone's possessed with the devil and trying to. I don't know what they're trying to do, actually. If you ever broke it down, it's like, what's the purpose of a demon possessing a small child? Like, what is the end game here, really? What are you going to do with this? I'm just wondering. No, it doesn't make any... There's nothing that's going to happen on this planet if a demon is possessing a small child. Like, where are you going with... Like, if I was the priest, I'd be like, where exactly do you think you're going with this, Satan? I'm just wondering. Like, no, what's next for you? Because you can only inhabit one thing at a time. So what are we doing? And you'd be like, you know what? You're right. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just not sure.
Right. And so, actually, you'll probably be growing out of them before you even get to school. And so, then when we went and tried T-shirts, and the same thing, we had to get mediums. Right. Well, and his dad probably could wear some of his shirts, but no, actually, that's a lie.
Listen, Ryan is a galoot of a kid. I mean, he's got to be going to hit 6'2" at minimum.
You think so?
Oh my God. I mean, he's as tall as me.
Yeah.
And he's only 11. I mean, God, he's going to, you know what? He needs to get coordinated quick because every athletic coach is going to want him.
Yeah.
He needs to find his niche, because if it's wrestling or track or football, don't do football, but basketball especially, I know he doesn't like it, but if he finds something he's good at, he could play. If he's good at it and he becomes like one of those ridiculously tall, huge young men in high school, he could go anywhere for college.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing is like,
he's huge. He's like a little baby Michael Phelps.
He plays things for fun, and so
you should get him in water polo. Oh my God.
We'll see what he likes. It's just he's still only just out of 5th grade. So.
Yeah, it's true. But see, he looks like a middle school kid. Like, he looks like he should be in 7th grade.
Yeah.
He looks like and he hasn't even hit full puberty yet.
No.
It's going to be crazy. So that's what I'm saying is get that kid into a multitude of sports to see if anything sticks.
Yeah.
And then, he may not have the competitive bug, but sports like water polo or even wrestling or something, or track or anything where you're competing against yourself or a team effort.
Yeah.
He might really like that camaraderie. And if he's athletically inclined, holy shit, will you have fun with that? Yeah. It will be amazing.
He's going to start wrestling when he gets to junior high school. And
perfect.
So, and he does play basketball at lunchtime and stuff like that.
Sure. Well, there you go.
I think that's pretty normal for kids his age.
Maybe he's the next Donald Cerrone.
Oh,
you never know.
Right? Yeah, that'd
be hilarious.
So I'm sure I'll be spending my $50 per class to buy hand sanitizer and wipes, and
you'll be buying out of everything.
I'll be buying my love for the teacher.
You know what? If you can throw money at the problem, throw money at the problem. That's always been my thing.
Well, and not just that, but then there was the Tyrone Woodley fight.
Yes.
And Dana White was so pissed off because he said that he did the bare minimum just to get by in his fight.
To keep the belt. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of people thought.
And he said, if you're going to be a champion, fight like a champion.
Yeah, and then Tyrone Woodley just lost his shit on that.
Well, the reason why he lost his shit was because he was supposed to fight GSP.
Yes.
And the GSP got pulled from him. And now he's supposed to be fighting Bisping.
That's right. I did hear about that fight change.
Because he says if you're going to fight like that, then screw you. You're not going to fight GSP.
Well, that makes sense, because I saw the little blip of the press conference where Dana White, who looks very red right now, because his blood pressure must have been out of control that night.
Well, that was a big fight night.
It was. He was like, they're saying, oh, so is the Bisping GSP fight, is that legitimately happening? He goes, yep, next. He must have been really pissed about that. And Tyrone Woodley now is demanding a public apology, or he's going to start leaking dirty laundry. And I'm like, why would you do that? What does that do? Why would you threaten someone? You better apologize to me publicly or I'm going to leak dirty laundry. We live in a world where all we know is dirty laundry. You're not threatening anything. That's all we live in is dirty laundry now. It's like a sea of clothes in this world. We don't care. No one cares.
When do champions start acting like champions,
Right.
And, because then you even get, I get that, but who is it, Mighty Mouse?
Yes, Demetrius.
He starts talking shit too because they're talking about getting rid of his
his weight class. Well, yes, that is a kettle of fish that is deep, because there was a lot of crap going on with poor Demetrius. He's basically there's no one else to fight. He's fought everyone. And he's apparently pound for pound, he's the most proficient fighter in the UFC, if not the world. And a lot of people agree with that. There's no one that can match his skill set at that weight class. And so, but Dana, there's no money in it. No one cares about that little weight class.
Well, it's what, 135?
Yes, it's very. Yeah, it might even be lower than that actually. But it doesn't sell tickets. It's not a pay-per-view seller. And so Dana White's he doesn't put any marketing behind it. No, even though this guy is world class, there's just no money in it for him. And so so it feels like there's no respect.
Right.
Which I can understand. You're putting your body on the line to fight, and you make probably nothing compared to a heavyweight.
Oh, totally.
And you're not even being supported by the league that you're fighting in. So, for me, if it was me, I would be weighing my options at Bellator or other arenas, because if you're not getting paid at UFC, that's not the only game in town. There's other ways to make money doing this as a living. I know that UFC is the biggest, but there's got to be other options. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Mighty Mouse. He is really, really good, and I do like watching him fight, but realistically, I'm with Dana. I would not pay $60 to watch him be the title fight. I just wouldn't.
I just wonder if it's that hard for him to gain the 10 pounds to go to 145.
He's 5'1". That he'd look like a blob if he did that.
But I mean, if you look at like T.J. Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt, they're not big guys. They're little.
No, they're 145 for sure.
They're like 5'4".
Yeah, but that's a lot. So I mean, you're right though. He could attempt to go up a weight class. I just don't know if he physically could. I just don't know. He's so short. But you never know. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of people who are super short that don't weigh 135. So as far as athletes. So who knows? But yeah, it was a bad thing to watch. It was bad to watch him be interviewed. It was the whole thing. It did not, unfortunately, it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, even though, there was a new champion. It didn't feel very celebratory. So,
maybe, and I'm just wondering if they had they anticipated it going a certain way. Like they knew that maybe Cormier was going to, get knocked out or, whatever or something like that. Or maybe they thought they was going to go all 5 rounds or something, because that's how it went last time.
Right.
And it just was handled poorly.
Yeah, it was handled a little chaotically, but, bunch of dudes. There's nobody's mother in there going, "Hey, listen, gentlemen, let's get this figured out. Seriously, let's clean this mess up."
But
there's no women none of those round girls went in there and said, "Hey, guys, all right, that's enough. Now let's just get this together."
I was just left with the feeling that Cormier really needed a doctor, and so,
I agree. Well, he obviously got the help he needed,
and he
it just wasn't fast enough.
And he released a statement too, and
he did.
He wished John Jones well. He apologized to Big John because he did throw his hand, but
he did.
It sounds like there's nothing but love for everybody all around.
Yes,
so.
I think it luckily, once everything simmered down, everybody's the cooler heads prevailed, and all is well. Hopefully, I hope Cormier didn't sustain significant long term.
That was a big kick to the head.
With the shin.
Well,
it's like getting hit with a bat, man.
What I read actually is he's considered moving to heavyweight.
Cormier?
Yeah.
I heard John Jones was going to go to heavyweight. God, they can't both go. Cormier is 38 years old. I just wish that, there's something about, when fighters hit 36, it starts getting dicey to me. I just wish they would consider it. I get it. They're men. They can do whatever they want, even women. But I'm just saying, oh, man, that just seems like risky.
Yeah, but a light heavyweight cut for him is hard. I mean,
it looked hard.
He does. He looked so gaunt. He
did.
But
he really did.
He does do better. I think probably. I bet you he would do better a little heavier.
I agree. Well, maybe we'll see.
But that's going to be another weight class as far as females go, where it probably just lacks good fighters.
Yeah, well, they're adding a bunch of weights. They're adding a bunch of weight classes because of the new rules on weight cutting, which I think is a good thing.
No, I mean it is good. Even though you're gonna have a bunch of champions.
Well, title belts may just not mean as much in certain weight classes, but it at least it gives everybody an idea of who's sitting on top. And then you just fight towards the belt. At least you have a goal to fight towards, even if there is several weight classes, who cares? I mean, it just means more athletes get an opportunity to compete at a high level, and we get to watch it. So those are the ones. Yeah, you don't want a thong that is completely gone. That would be frightening, wouldn't it? That would be a butt that you would not want to challenge. That's a lot.
Well,
right?
I mean, and who wants to pull that out?
God, there's some pig that'll do it. But yes, in general, I wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, their cotton underwear is actually really comfy. And, certain brands, I mean, they wear out just like anything. So, but I don't know. When they're 5 for $25, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Personally. But.
Oh, don't do that to, what's the one that is the really, really touchy-feely one? It's like the love happens, or the love, not the love happens.
What?
It's the post. It's the page.
Oh, yes. Yes, the touchy-feely stories.
Like, yes.
Yes, I follow it. It's Love Happens, and I think that's the name of the page. And then they post all these variety of sweet stories. I've seen a couple where I'm like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, or I'm just
there was a couple. Yeah,
where people are just like, they were homeless and then they finally found their place, and I'm just like, how do you let yourself be homeless when you have a child? You know, or something like that.
I'm super judgy. Yeah, so. I've seen a couple like that, and I'm like, I don't feel any love for this whatsoever. I'm more like, someone call the authorities and deal with this situation immediately.
Like, that's cruel.
I'm with you. Yeah, it is cruel. Don't post it on fucking social media and we'll be fine. That's the other thing. I'm like, just because these things happen doesn't mean that you're required or someone's telling you better post that on social media. It's okay to do things and not let people know about it. God forbid. I know.
I think the same thing. So.
Oh, that's because we're related.
Thanks for checking out this week's Ugly Cuts. Join us for an all-new episode dropping every Sunday on your favorite podcast platform and, of course, uglytruth.com. That's UGLEE truth.com.